did you find out over the weekend that you were dead?
If you were online the weekend of August 30th, you couldn't escape it. Your feed exploded with frantic alerts, buzzing notifications, and that one chilling hashtag, Trump is dead. Within hours, tens of thousands of posts claimed the most visible man in the world had quietly died. His hands bore dark bruises. He vanished from public view for 5 days. In that perfect storm of mystery and rumor, a conspiracy went viral. This is the story of how bruises and silence created America's latest political wildfire. Late on a crisp February evening, cameras captured President Trump greeting supporters on the South Lawn. A determined X-user zoomed in to reveal dark, purplish bruising across the back of his right hand, a detail now impossible to ignore. The White House quickly dismissed the uproar. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt credited frequent handshaking and President Trump's standard aspirin regimen tied to his chronic venous insufficiency diagnosis.
Additionally, recent photos of the president have shown minor bruising on the back of his hand. This is consistent with minor soft tissue irritation from frequent handshaking and the use of aspirin, which is taken as part of a standard cardiovascular prevention regimen.
Yet Reddit threads and TikTokers slowed every handshake in viral videos, planting a seed of doubt that would later ignite a full-blown conspiracy. In private circles, amateur medical analysts debated whether the discoloration signaled deeper vascular issues or side effects from unreported treatments. Though the mainstream press moved on, the bruise lingered in the collective imagination. By midsummer, persistent speculation forced the White House into damage control mode. On July 15th, Dr. Sean Barbarella released a 3-page memo reassuring Americans that Trump's vital signs were, quote, within normal limits, and that his bruising was consistent with mild soft tissue irritation from his venous condition and aspirin use. Mainstream outlets ran headlines like "Trump's health stable," physician says, treating the memo as definitive. Conspiracy circles, however, dismissed it as a PR health report, bullet points, not transparency. As August waned, Trump's public calendar abruptly went blank. On August 26th, there were no rallies, no Marine One departures, and most notably, no Truth Social posts, just radio silence. On that same day, Vice President J.D. Vance granted an interview.
And if, God forbid, there's a terrible tragedy, I can't think of better on-the-job training than what I've gotten over the last 200 days.
That throwaway phrase, circulating without context, became raw fuel for online panic. Viewers dissected every nuance, tone of voice, facial expression, hand gestures, searching for hidden admissions of a crisis. Overnight, chat rooms buzzed. Had the president collapsed off camera? Was he receiving emergency treatment at Walter Reed? Did his chronic condition finally catch up with him? On August 27th, forums buzzed with wild theories. QAnon boards suggested Trump had been airlifted to Walter Reed under classified protocols. A blurry photo, later debunked as a 2023 stock image, showed a motorcade entering Walter Reed's gates at midnight. Meanwhile, an AI-generated Simpsons clip depicting a Trump stand-in collapsing on live TV went viral.
The president is expected to die in August 2025 after a severe chest illness. The Simpsons predicted it. A forgotten episode of The Simpsons, aired over 15 years ago, is now resurfacing, and it might be the show's most disturbing prediction. Yet, in the episode, a controversial president with bright orange skin, golden hair, and a volatile temper is shown walking alone through the White House. Suddenly, he clutches his chest, visibly in pain, and collapses during a live national broadcast. Panic erupts. Medical staff rush in. One shouts, "This wasn't just stress, this was a sign."
Despite its obvious manipulation, the video spread across TikTok and Instagram Reels, stoking fear faster than fact-checkers could respond. The rumor network accelerated, with each repost adding layers of commentary, medical experts weighing in, paparazzi shots scrutinized.
Okay, so here you have the bruise on the one hand, which is really bad. It's like covering up his entire hand. But now there's bruising on the other, and the White House has not told us what's going on. And that's not the only health issue that Donald Trump seems to be having. We've known about the bruise on his right hand for quite some time and the makeup that's constantly caked on top, but also his ankles are still swollen, and they have been recently. And it seems like his mental decline is getting worse as well. Just the other day, a bunch of European leaders were at the White House, and Donald Trump couldn't identify the president of Finland, who is sitting right in front of him.
President Stubb of Finland, and he's somebody that, where are we here? Where? Oh.
Yeah, the president of Finland literally had to say, "I'm right here."
By August 28th, mainstream news outlets could no longer ignore the frenzy. Early morning cable panels asked, "Where is the president?" Social media analytics confirmed #TrumpIsDead trending globally.
You get up in the morning and you doom scroll through things, and although I will say this, the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. There will be news sometime, just so you know, there will be news.
I'll tell you who is a complete piece of shit. I'm going to tell you right now.
There have been a lot of swear words at this
Tim
table today.
Walz,
Okay.
the governor of Minnesota, holding up a phone in front of a rally saying, well, we thought we were going to wake up and find out the president had died. Someday it'll happen. Someday it'll happen. I used to say he was the biggest buffoon in American politics, but it's worse now. No political official, no elected official should be walking around saying, well, I'm hoping we wake up one day and the president of the United States has died. Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Influencers dissected every bruise while pundits debated the Constitution's 25th Amendment. On August 29th, opinion writers highlighted glaring media double standards. President Biden, at the age of 82, had spent 2 weeks at Camp David, largely off camera and unmonitored. His occasional coughs and brief stumbles, caught during summer speeches, circulated as mild memes, not trending crises.
Donald Trump hasn't done a press conference in 2 whole days. That guy's gotta be dead. He hasn't been seen. Something's wrong with him. I haven't seen Joe Biden in 4 months.
A New York Times column headlined, "Why We Fear Trump's Absence But Tolerate Biden's Silence," argued that partisan filters determine whether presidential retreats are labeled self-care or constitutional crises.
But I'm going to start with Donald Trump, because until this afternoon, he had been basically absent from the public eye since last Tuesday, which was his longest stretch away from cameras since becoming president. And that absence, and you may have seen this over the weekend if you looked at any social media platform, prompted quite a wave of online speculation about the president's health and well-being.
When Trump fades from view for 5 days, it's a national emergency. When Biden does so for twice that period, it's routine executive rest.
I never saw that person, not a single time, and I was in the Oval Office every day, that was on that debate stage. I'm not a doctor. Aging happens quite quickly. Were things that people saw during that period of time that were similar to that, or would have been in a category of that? I don't know, possibly, right? And all these books are going to tell us.
Like, do you think that were they actively covering it up? Were they sort of in denial, or was that just a bad debate? Like, what is your read on that?
Well, this is what I mean about cover up is a very loaded term. And look, we may never know why Donald Trump suddenly spent a week hiding entirely from the American public.
Labor Day weekend reached its peak on August 30th with geotagged photos of Trump heading to his Virginia golf course, club in hand, red MAGA cap perched confidently, grandchildren at his side. Yet conspiracy purists refused to relent. Screenshots of the golf course were claimed to be CGI constructs. Some insisted the man in the photos was a body double. In their worldview, every rebuttal was just a deeper level of the plot. That Sunday evening, Trump took to Truth Social. "Never felt better in my life. Also, DC is a crime-free zone. President DJT." On September 2nd, the White House announced a live press conference with Donald Trump to finally quell the rumors.
How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead? You see that?
No.
People didn't see you for a couple days. 1.3 million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Really?
You didn't see that?
You know, I have heard, it's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said, there must be something wrong with him. Biden wouldn't do them for months. You wouldn't see him. And nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him, and we know he wasn't in the greatest of shape. No, I heard that. I get reports. No, I was very active over the weekend. They also knew I went out to visit some people at the club that I own, pretty nearby on the Potomac River. And no, I've been very active actually over the weekend. I didn't hear that one. That's pretty serious stuff.
Thank you for watching The People's Press. Make sure to like and subscribe for weekly videos breaking down complex political topics.